Hello, this is Rolf from kumida.rocks, and I will introduce you today into easier testing your Cognos environments. Thanks for joining in. And I prepared a really quick introduction presentation to you to get you into the topic Comeda eases testing. That's what we're here for today. So let's see what it is about. Some numbers. We have around 5,000 hours of development in the product, which consists of 34,000 lines of code. On the cloud platform of Comedo, we have over 1,000 registered users, and there are 6 enterprise customers worldwide. One of them is Daimler, famous Daimler mother of Mercedes Benz in Stuttgart. You all know PM Square, there's Lurid in San Francisco. I will introduce you to co.com, scheduling enterprise provider, and let's see how this works. What it is all about is development performance or deployment performance. How do elite performers and low performers compare here? Looking at the failure rate, recovery time, and number of deployments. So low performers actually have a failure rate of over 50%, and which makes it every second deployment has a bug, one or more, and it takes them more than 1 week to recover from that and deploy again. So which makes them deploy maybe once a month or once a quarter. So how do these low performers compare to elite performers? Let's see. co.com has a failure rate of less than 7.5%. If they find a bug, they deploy immediately and recover from that bug in less than an hour, and then deploy multiple times a day. So the example, the testimony from co.com, they deploy 10 times a day or more, and they test end-to-end with Comeda. And Per Richardson, CEO from co.com, he has just such a big smile in his face testing with Comeda, because they find bugs in their software that the playwright doesn't find. The other example is the reporting system at Mercedes-Benz using IBM Cognos. So they have around 500 standard reports which use 25 parameters, and testing that already has 12,500 steps, which you will not do manually. So if they would take into account the number of browsers, the devices, and testing in portrait landscape, this is what we're talking about. So the success story at Daimler goes like this. We cut down their testing costs by 25% and gave them immediate return on invest. And we lifted the test coverage up to 80%. And Cornelia, the QA at the reporting department, has a story of 3 years, frustrating story. She externalized, outsourced their testing. She tried the big names in testing on their IBM Cognos platform, and she just couldn't automate it. And with Comeda, she was able to do so. So we'll see in a minute how she did that. To wrap it up, Comeda is easy to use for non-programmers, QAs, and PMOs. It's all about automating testing and freeing your expensive resources of developers and QA to get you a higher test coverage. And once you have done that, you can repeat it as often as you want. How does this work? Comeda provides pre-built no-code steps for especially IBM Cognos. To summarize, Comeda provides immediate return on investment because it eases your testing, it finds bugs early, and it helps you to create better software faster, and I could add to that deploy faster and more often. So let's jump into the demo and see how Comeda actually works. Okay, so let's start the demo time. Demo time. So what we will do is go to IBM Cognos Analytics. So if I'm looking a little bit to the left, that's because I have my other screen there. So sorry for that, but demo time. Go to IBM Cognos Analytics on cloud, do the login, confirm the cookie button, run report, and compare the results. And this completely automated in, I hope so, less than 10 minutes. Let's see if we can do that with Comeda. So this is Comeda. This icon always takes us home. We have some folders, easy testing, new folder, development, PM, hello analytics. We want to start new test. So we name this hello execute report. And then we have a browser selection. We have lots of browsers to select, no configuration. You just move your mouse there and select. You can also select Android devices, Samsung Galaxy N10 and iOS and iPhones and the generic ones as you like, and then all this executes in parallel. But for development, I would just use the latest Chrome. So we start testing by go to URL, and we have a variable for that. That is Cognos Analytics URL. So we have environment variables here, and we have predefined some variables here. This is the one that we want to use. So we just type that in, go to there. Then we might want to maximize the browser and then add a step and say, okay, let's wait until we can see the IBM Cloud login. And then we just send the keys, because why is this so? I switch to here. So what happens is when you go to, let me just do that again, Cognos user group. So it loads and then redirects and sends you to the login and is already in the focus of the field. So we just send the keys and we send the user ID. Sorry, I just got a cough last Friday, and sorry for that one. So press enter. We might want to take some screenshots on the way. We could also compare them or to see layout differences. So, and then we wait for the password to appear. And once the password is there, we then just send keys again, and that's our password. Those passwords are also stored in the environment variables, and they are crypted, so nobody can read them. And we want to hit enter, and then we want to wait for something to appear, which is the wireframe. This is Cognos typic element that appears whenever Cognos loads. So what we see then, I would just do the login for you in order that you understand what will happen. So I use this, I press enter, and then I enter my password, I press enter again. Oops, oh, I just misspelled that one. So that's good for manual testing, misspelling passwords. So it loads, and then we see this cookie pop up. So we have to hit this. How do I hit this? Okay, right mouse click, investigate, see what's happening here. Okay, so this is an element that is a class to call, and this is actually inside an iframe, and the iframe has a title trust arc. Yeah, so we just might want to wait for that wireframe insert step below, and we wait for trust arc to appear. Once it appeared, and this is something special, we have to switch to the iframe number 2, which is, the first one is from IBM Cognos, the second one is from trust arc. And then we move our mouse to the link that we just found, which had it is an A-link reference and has a class to call. So I move mouse to there and call it. And what I have to do then is switch back. This is also that is something that you would have to learn on Selenium, and how to behave inside frames and tabs and the default context of the window. We might again take some screenshots on the way, and from there we should then be in IBM Cognos. So that is good. Then we want to search for customer churn information by zip code and run this report. So this is something we want to hit. So we investigate what this search box is about. It is an input field with role search box. So I just copy this and then say switch to insert step below, wait for something to appear, and we wait for search box. It should already be there because we loaded it before. So we move to the input element, and that has role search box. And then we send some keys, and that is customer churn rate, churn information. And again, we have to hit the enter button and then wait for something to appear. What we want to see is the customer churn rate. And then we want to move the mouse to the customer churn rate and hit this report. So we will investigate on this, and this actually has a very nice frame data table content, this one. So we will look for this one. This one actually gives us all the elements below. We could also look for this one. This one is also nice, but I prefer this one as it has a single class. So we will just look for move mouse to, and we need, was it a div or, yeah, that was a div with a class, and move mouse to. So we are here, and then we want this element. So that's a div again, and so that makes it a div again, and we want the contains, and then we look for text and the customer churn rate, and click on it at the next step, and then sleep. I don't know how long will this report take. I just say 15 seconds or let's say 100 seconds, where to see what's going on. We take some screenshots on the way and create the report. So it asks, feature successfully created, hello. And let's run it. So it opens up the URL, which is really fast, goes to the login, waits for the login, hits the password, hit the trust arc. It already hit the cookie consent button. And let's see what's happening here. Customer churn rate, that was also hit. And we want to click on that. And did it click on that? Yeah, it clicked on it, but we would like to click on the button to execute it. So what happened is it clicked on here somehow. It looks like it clicked there. No, it didn't. Clicked on it, but it didn't, seems it didn't execute the report. Doesn't matter, it is still running. I stopped the execution. It will provide me a video and I can actually see the video. And there we go, the report is already there. We just didn't see it in the screenshot. So we executed our first report in nothing, 5 seconds, 5 minutes. So we run that, and now we want to wait for some data to appear. So here it is running. So we might want to wait for the string. So that's 8945. Just write that down. 8945 MUQUF. So we might want to look for that. Let's see how this behaves. Click on here, run the report. That is all good, and we select this and we want to inspect it. So it's right here, and what's interesting now is, I want to show you is this element. So we are running actually in an iframe. Yeah, so the report is running in an iframe, but the good thing is it has an ID. So you see here, ID RS iframe manager, and I would just kind of make this a little bit bigger so that you can read it better. So that's RS iframe manager number 1. And this one we want to navigate to in order for us to click insert step below. Now we want to insert the step above and wait for the iframe manager to appear, and then we switch to the iframe with the ID. And then we want to wait for the text 8945 MUQUF to appear. And we want to take a screenshot from there. And we also want to compare it in order to understand if there are differences in the page layout and in the data. So we run this again. This took us, we're now at 21, this took us exactly 3 minutes. So it's running, it's switching to iframe, hitting the cookie button, running the report. Oh, we missed out on this step of sleeping. So I just hit the stop button. This is also fast. This is the good thing about Comedo. It is really, really fast. So I put a sleep of 100 at the end, and just in case I want to investigate on something, run it again. It's initializing. We have a nice preview. We can also switch to that one and actually observe how everything is running. So we now have two tabs open. This is Comedo running, and this is the actual headless browser in my browser running. So might be confusing, but well, that's how it is, and it's done. So Comedo should be sleeping now. Yeah, there we are. And we have a screenshot. We have 0 pixel differences. We close this one and we click on stop execute, remove the last waiting for the 100 seconds and just execute it again. And the runtime, so we could actually close this. The runtime is 39 seconds for the, or 28 seconds for the execution of the report. And the nice thing about Comedo is when things fail, you can actually dive deeper, go into the context and see, well, this one failed. This one failed, of course, because I stopped it, but we could override that and say, okay, this one is passed, and so that the actual test then passes. We can see the video recording. We saw this before. We can make that bigger to see it. We can download the video, send the video to other people. And another thing, if we go into details, we also have a PDF report on all the executions that downloads. So we just open it. So Amada environment, hello, execute report, 22 steps. It was run on 6th of March, so many steps. And we have the readable text that a developer as well as a business department can understand. If a business department doesn't understand this text, we just go and help them by putting context on it. Yeah. For example, here the business department might need context, so we just put, okay, wait for IBM Cognos report to appear in iframe. Yeah, so they can understand it. For example, here in search box, we might say, Cognos is ready, now start searching. And for the cookie, we might say, okay, wait for cookie consent to appear and confirm. So this gives visual clues, visual hints to you. Enter customer churn, wait for something. Okay, this is all good. Sleep is already disabled, and we might just run it again. So in order to see the details, let's see what all the other buttons do. Yeah. So we saw the edit button, the run button. We have a nice log button that gives us direct log output of the test that executed, timing, the same timing we see for every step. We see them also here. And we have another button that is edit schedule. This is really nice. This is a beautiful button. End-to-end testing. Nothing easier than that. I want to monitor my report and execute that every minute, please. Save. That's it. Scheduled. This report will now automatically, in background, without any further doing, start running. And the best thing is that right in Comedo I get feedback about that. This button will actually start turning when the execution starts. There it is. We didn't do anything. Magic. Yeah, in 3 minutes we managed to automate the execution of a Cognos report with pixel comparison, with data validation, navigating in the portal, logging in, and we scheduled it, and it will be running every minute. What do you think about that? Is that easy? Is that fast? Let me know your thoughts. We will dive deeper into what other steps Comedo provides for testing cubes, for testing reports, for testing folders, for testing reports and folders, for testing cube dimensions, for testing Query Studio. Might be a little bit of legacy, but this is Comedo, and there it runs again. So that's beautiful. Comedo is so nice. So I would just stop this here and go into the other details. Let me know if you have questions for me, if you would like some details to be explained a little bit further. I would be happy to answer your questions.